I forgot my line. This is my line. Is it the people over 50 are afraid of finding love, or are they afraid of choosing the wrong person again?
Because at this stage of life, choosing wrong means it can disrupt so much about your life, your peace, your finances, your overall well being at work, your family, your kids. Like you have a lot to lose when you're 50 and over.
Today, let's talk about compatibility and how it can help other people find the right compatible partner. It's not about attraction, chemistry, or butterflies. It's about, can we commingle our lives together in a way that's mutually beneficial and effortless?
Exactly, because chemistry tells you when someone's really exciting, but it's compatibility that tells you when someone can live inside your real life. Like, can we actually occupy our Tuesdays together?
Are our hobbies compatible with each other, and our time schedules work to give us enough time to learn about each other's lives? Tamara, when we were younger, many of us chose relationships based on attraction, potential.
And just great timing. Like,
Exactly.
do they
Great
fit
timing.
into your life at this time? I think that's super important in meeting
Much
the right
less
person.
thinking,
Yes,
more acting.
exactly.
As we get older, it's like, is it worth it? Should I try? Should I put out the effort?
And so, what makes you decide it is the right time to try?
I think your body just tells you that it would be more fun with a partner that enhances your life
Your body
versus,
tells you that. So, Michael, when do you know it's the right time for you to even think about dating again?
for me, it was when I thought it would be more fun with somebody special than doing an activity by myself.
That does life the way I do life and doesn't seem like a natural fit.
I call that domestic lifestyle. I think you're beautiful. I want to be with you. Will our domestic lifestyle fit together? That is the mature definition of compatibility. Not, do we like the same music? Not, do we like the same art?
All that stuff is great. But really, what we want to make sure of is that we don't have this constant friction in our life from not being compatible. And compatibility is really what we're chasing, not just attraction. When you ask people about their dating experience, most of them say they're looking for that immediate spark. But true compatibility takes more time and more trust.
Correct. Chemistry is, am I attracted to you? Am I laughing with you? But compatibility is, do I feel safe around you?
There's 5 real tests of compatibility after 50, and we're going to talk about those today. The first test is values, not hobbies, not what you do for fun on a Saturday. It's how do you handle your life on a day-to-day basis because of what you feel is driving your decision making? And do you have that in common with your partner?
At this age, Tamara, values mean more than similarities. You can have the same interest and be compatible, but your values might be completely off.
I asked my dad once at his 50th wedding anniversary, what was the thing that made their marriage so spectacular and last all of those years? And he had this analogy that the commonalities that you have in your life with your partner is like money in the bank. And that because he and my mom had so many combined interests and values in their life, they had lots of deposits in their romantic bank account.
I had the same experience. When I was younger, my mom gave me the best piece of advice she ever gave me, and that was, make sure you and your partner have the right values. I didn't know what she meant at the time, but later I figured it out. If I value honesty and that's really high in my value list, and my partner is like, yeah, white lies are okay, not compatible, not something that we should go down that road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're putting values as number one.
Okay, Tamara, if values was the first component of compatibility, let's get into the second, which is the second component of compatibility, which is lifestyle.
And this is where two really good people can just have different operating systems for their lives.
What do you mean?
Well, like imagine this. You love cooking at home,
Yeah.
but I love going out to dinner. And if we couldn't meet in the middle somehow, that would be a problem for us.
Agree. I love going out to dinner with you, and you love when I present you with dinner.
Yes.
And makes me happy to do it for you.
Well, plus you're a good cook. So that helps. And there's other things, just day to day things like how do you spend money? Like you're kind of a spender and I'm a spender too. Although I probably save more than you do
Yeah,
on the
you're,
back
you're a
end.
bit more practical in the long term thinking about
Yeah.
money.
To find that balance together. And the other one I think that was big for us was how do we manage our time together and apart? Because when we started dating, I was absolutely sure that I needed a ton of alone time and quiet time because that's what I was used to.
Agree. Yeah, we got lucky.
So the third test of compatibility is communication. Obviously, I was just having some problems with my own
Great
communication.
example right here.
But I think how you communicate with your partner is super key. And you won't really know how deeply you communicate well or not well for a while, but you can start to listen to their stories about how their communication breaks down or works in other parts of their lives. If they talk about their past relationships, did it seem like communication was a big problem? When they talk about their work life, does it seem like they have constant barriers or issues around honesty or honest communication with people? You really have to listen a little bit like a detective to figure out how this person communicates throughout their life, not just the picture that they're presenting to you on your first date. Yeah, mature love and relationships require mature communication. And what you want to make sure is that you're not looking for perfection here. You're looking for just a sense of can we get through sometimes difficult or awkward conversations like, hey, ouch, that hurt my feelings. Or I didn't understand what you were saying. Can you explain that in a different way?
Easy. Easy enough if you're a good listener and you're receptive to your partner and you're compatible. Easy enough to give your partner what they need, and it's easy for them to tell you what they need.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be talking with someone and expressing little misunderstandings and always feeling like your whole relationship is going to collapse in a burning pile of rubbish, right?
Now, that's compatibility.
Right.
Okay, Tamara. The fourth compatibility trait we're going to talk about today is conflict style. This is not going to happen right away, but when it does happen, which it will because all relationships have some sort of misunderstandings, how does that get handled?
Do they have stories where they seem aggressive, where they don't handle issues well, like they just can't talk things through? I think that's really important.
For me personally, it's okay to have conflict, but does my partner handle the conflict with respect and stay in the conversation?
Yeah, that was a big one for us because staying in the conversation was challenging for both of us because in our past, we both have been what I would call a runner, running away from conflict because we were like, you know what? We could start again with a new person and not have to deal with all of this stuff.
It's cool.
Yeah. I think actually it's really important as you get older, over 50 and 60, peace becomes so vital and such a commodity in your life that you protect. So we're moving on to number 5. And we said number 5 was the big one, but I actually think the one after number 5 is the big one. So, but 5 is important because it's all about having those kind of intimidating conversations about where do we see our lives going and are they going in the right direction together?
I'll tell you a recurring theme of this channel is going to be the person that's most compatible that you might be most happy with is right under your nose. And unless you stop thinking that there's an unlimited amount of inventory out there and start focusing on one person at a time to find out if they're compatible, not just that instant attraction that Tamara talked about, then you'll never really know. But life after 50 is not about short-term happiness today. It's about our lives going to be pointed in the same direction in a compatible way.
Yeah, especially when you're looking for a long term partner and not just dating multiple people at a time. When you're over 50, I think you're making an investment in the person, the relationship, the time that you're spending to get to know someone. So here's the big thing for me and for you. We've gone through the 5 points, but there's one really important thing that we haven't talked about that was super vital in our relationship, and it's consistency. This is something that's missing when you're dating on the apps because people are all over the place with their attention. We wanted to communicate with each other what we expected in terms of check ins and attention. And I think you set the tone for that a lot. Really important here. For instance, you wanted us to have a regular pattern of checking in so that you could make sure I was safe. And that wasn't something that I was used to in my life. So you asked me to say good morning and say good evening, let you know when I was home from work. There was just some things that made you feel more comfortable and that I was not dropping off the face of the earth when you weren't in my life that day because we do have separate lives,
Right.
right?
And it just helps me when I'm thinking about you just to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I love that. And it built trust pretty quickly because when he made requests like, hey, can you check in with me first thing in the morning? Or can you let me know when you're home from work? This guy just wants to make sure that I'm safe and that we are in communication with each other, starting out a new relationship. And what we needed for us was consistency. And so we set the tone right away. And it's been something that's really helped us build a lot of trust quickly and has been the bedrock of our relationship.
Agree. So before you ask, does this person really like me? A better question to ask is this person really compatible with my life?
Yeah, I think, of course, everybody wants to feel liked, right? But this is all about choice and choosing, and you need to take control of your own path. So I told him, just click the button. Like, let me talk. I really want to get to know what you need to know about dating in your 50s. Are you nervous? Is there something about getting back out there after a divorce or a loss of a partner or a bad breakup that you're facing in your own life? Because we'd love to help you. I mean, we have 40 years of shared dating history before our happy little relationship. And so we feel like we have some tidbits that might be able to help you on your journey. So do share in the comments, and we promise that we'll answer because we want to get to know you along this journey too.